pushing this shit hard.
Boom, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to the second part of the moment of the month for the Carnival edition, for the 2025 Carnival edition, and I am still your host, per usual, Rummer. Alright, so we're going to get straight into it. No time for no shenanigans. I got the inside scoop on everything that took place for Carnival 2025. So let's go. So we are starting it off with the opening jump up for 2025, for the 2025 Carnival season. Now, unfortunately, only two bands took part for the opening jump up, and namely those are the Skillful Band and the TG Band. So those two bands were the only two bands that were in the running for the Band of the Year from the jump, because that's a part of the requirements, part of the criteria. You gotta take part in all of the road events. If you ain't in the first one, then you're done out, or you're done in the back, you're done losing already, so to speak, you know. So shout out to the TG Band, shout out to Skillful Band. We open the year hot, we open it strong and heavy. And I know everybody I know everybody saw the wonderful works of the police force of St. Martin during the jump up, where apparently an arrest was made and a group of youngsters were seen in a video being handled by the police in order to get them on the ground, to get them arrested. And then, you know, you just casually minding your business, you're there walking, you're going, minding your business, and all of a sudden you see somebody foot in you and be like, damn! So you saw the famous flip. You saw the famous flip that took place for Carnival for the opening jump up. I ain't got much more to say about that. It speaks for itself. It speaks for itself. Trying to get flipped, you know, he was also arrested. So yeah, apparently the police force came out and made a press release stating that one of the young men had a firearm on them, so they apprehended him and they took all of them to the police station. So shout out to them. And we are moving it along to the second day. Day number two was the magical Calypso Finals in the Festival Village, and also the reigning Calypso King, Fish the Mega Boss, was up against 13. It's 13 or 12? Whichever one. He was up against a lot of other contestants defending his crown, and unfortunately he lost his crown to newcomer and first timer in the senior Calypso Finals, but no stranger to music. However, he lost his crown to the mighty Yard Fowl, aka Touche, aka Mr. Eusebius, aka the music teacher from around your school. Shout out to Touche one time, my brother. I am super proud of you. You had one of my favorite songs for the night, and I love the context and the concept of the song. Bring back the old time thing, and every song that you hear got some form of soca in it or calypso in it. So shout outs to you for that one. Now we move it over to day number 3. Day number 3 was the Village Chill, and this day I had the privilege of hosting. Shout outs to Weatherflex and Cleon and the entire team for always having me for the Village Chill every year. It's an ultimate and absolute pleasure, and this year was no different. Shout outs to everybody that came out for the Village Chill. Shout outs to everybody that was there, that took part, that won themselves the ticket, that did what they had to do, and all of that good stuff. And now we are moving it over to day number 4, which was the controversial band clash. No! No! For band clash, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, when I tell you Calypso Finals is judged fair, when I tell you something come out left field, now don't get me wrong, listening to the entire set, all of the bands and everything like that took part, that competed for band clash, all of them did their things. All of them did the thing. They did the thing, but only 3 bands stood out, namely Skillful Band, ZTB Band, DCG Band. Those 3 bands stood out, namely to me and to a lot of other people. Not discrediting anything that the other bands did, because apparently and unfortunately the band Remember the Times, they were disqualified because apparently, I guess it was a criteria that 2 of the members, they were foreign, they weren't registered St. Martiners, or they're not from here, they don't live here, and apparently I guess the criteria is that all band members need to be local, and yeah, so they were disqualified, and all the other bands did their thing. When it came to the results for the night, a lot of people were left upset, very upset, including myself, to be honest. Now, I don't know What happened? Because the judges, they had some judges local, some judges foreign, you know, a lot of people musically inclined. Out of nowhere, when Trent and Vibes came on the stage and announced the winner, it was announced that the DCG band went with the Banorama. I ain't care about the Banorama. Anybody could win Banorama. That's fine. Cool. No problem. But when it came to the band clash segment of the band clash competition, they said that Skillful Band came first runner-up and DCG Band won the entire thing. And I'm like, no, again, I'm not discrediting the DCG Band. I'm not discrediting the band. I'm just saying, I honestly thought the Skillful Band would have won. Hey, it is what it is. It's fine. Congratulations going out to the DCG Band. Make sure next year you come out, y'all defend y'all title, y'all defend y'all crown. I had Skillful winning. DCG and ZTB could have gone second to third, but I had DCG more second than ZTB. I just say it. So the number 1 and number 2, I would have switched them around. But hey, it is what it is. Day number 4 ended in controversy, and we move straight over into day number 5. Day number 5 was Stinkin' Dutty. Now, I didn't go Stinkin' Dutty. I can't tell you what happened Stinkin' Dutty. The show before Jouvert is always one of those taboo days, taboo shows that is like, do I really want to go straight from the village to Jouvert? I mean, in certain countries that do celebrate Carnival, that's how it is, you know. But Simate people, we've tried it with a lot of different concepts, a lot of different styles, a lot of different times, but it just doesn't work. So this is my humble plea to the Simaten Carnival Development Foundation, to Mikey, to Rajuki. This is my humble plea. Please, let's put back the Calypso Finals before Jouvert, because if 1,000 people go into Jouvert, 10 of them going to be in the village for Calypso Finals. Let's stop reinventing the wheel. Let's put Calypso Finals back the night before Jouvert. That way, you don't gotta hurt your head about who going to get this show or make it a free night, because Stinkin' Dutty was free. Every show that has been before Jouvert for the last maybe 4 or 5 years since they changed the format, almost every year has been free. I feel like one night it was Latin night and you had to pay, of course, but it's been free, or it's been a different kind of crowd that doesn't go to Jouvert. Let's put Calypso Finals back before Jouvert, please. I am begging, I'm pleading, please. Next year is 55. Let's get back to our roots. We always talk about culture. Let's get back to the roots for next year 55. Please, guys. So day number 5, little lackluster going into Jouvert, but day number 6, Jouvert Monring. Oh gosh, Jouvert Monring was a lot of pressure, a lot of speed, a lot of vibes, and minimal incidents. Super great, lovely. I love it. I love when we could go out, have minimal to no instances, and everybody could just enjoy themselves. I love that, when people could just go out, have a good time, and go back in their house and nothing happened to nobody. One thing I must mention, and it irked and it hurt my heart for Jouvert Monring. Parents, I want you to listen to me and listen to me good. Please educate your child, your children, your niece, your nephew, the child on the road, the partner on the block, the one the next door. Listen, educate these youngsters about underage drinking and the harms and the dangers that come with it. Because what hurt and irked me for Jouvert was to see the amount of children under the age of 15, 16, drunk on the truck, crying, ready to pass out. Children on the side of the road passed out because they drink too much. And even for Band Clash, to go back to Band Clash, they had children intoxicated for Band Clash in the village. Parents, guardians, adults, people in the community, please, let's educate these youngsters about the dangers of alcohol consumption, alcohol abuse, and drug consumption and drug abuse, because it's going to kill and it's going to poison our youth. Please, let's do something about it. I am crying out to the community. Please, let's do something about it. All right. And from that sad note, going over to a great note, day number 6, part 2 was the highly, I don't want to call it anticipated, but the highly talked about Bouyon Fest. Strictly the Best Festival Bouyon edition. Now, again, before Carnival started, I shared my sentiments about how I felt about this night in particular. I was like, why do we need an all Bouyon night? We already play the music every night. The DJs already play the music. Why it is that we need an all and only Bouyon night or festival? But ladies and gentlemen, as I sit in front of this camera here today, I must tip my hat and give it to the promoters, to Two Brothers Entertainment, for putting together what was my favorite international show for Carnival, hands down. I am not going to sit here and be a liar and be a hypocrite when I tell you that I did not enjoy Bouyon Night. I loved the entire night from start to finish. That show was incredible. Shout outs to the promoter for putting it together, and shout outs to Ridge, because that he played a very, very, very key role in meshing everyone together at the end, because there's a lot of beef in the Bouyon world that you don't know about. For example, Trilogy, Little Boy, and who's the other one on the song? I forget. Quan is his name. Quando is from St. Martin. That's a junior road match king. Shout out to Quando, by the way. A lot of people don't know that they have this beef going on, and this one can't mix with this one, and this one can't do this, and this one. So it's a whole mess. But Ridge knows that. Ridge being the neutral ground, at the end of his set, he called out everybody to do a little piece of their song. And in case you didn't realize, there's a reason why Triller did his part of the song, and there's a reason why in his set earlier in the night he didn't perform the song either. He came out to it and that was it. He didn't perform his piece. There's reasons, there's levels to it. Again, got a scoop, I got you. So shout outs to Two Brothers Entertainment, shout outs to Boy. Okay, no, don't get me wrong, I ain't saying we need a next one next year, but what you do this year, I take my whole hat off to you, your promotion team, and everything that you guys did. And the highlight of that entire night was when Trilogy brought out BRG Hollywood. That gave me goosebumps, and I was so happy to see a young man from St. Martin getting his recognition, getting his flowers, getting his shine on an international stage for an international night. All right, so that was day number 6. Now we move it over to day number 7. We are a week into Carnival, and of course, from that high, the level stayed right there, because that Sunday night was the headliners show, the headliners concert, the Roots and Rhythm Reggae Night. Shout out to Mr. Rude and the entire Extra Tight team, because what they did, they brought back the essence of Reggae Night. So for Reggae Night, the headliners that were there, of course, they put on an amazing show. And of course, my boy Christopher Martin, he closed the show on a vibe, on a high. People are like, oh, but Christopher Martin only got one song, until he came out on stage. Shout out to Mr. Rude, Extra Tight Entertainment. Reggae Night was a hit, was a success. Thank you for coming back in the village as well. Thank you for coming back in the village. I appreciate it, regardless of what differences people may have with whomever, with each other. Thank you for coming back in the village. It was for the culture. Thank you for doing it for the culture. Now that was day number 7. Going over to day number 8. Speaking about the culture, we had the highly anticipated Koncert X. Now, this show was my favorite show overall in Carnival. All right. Bouyon Fest was my favorite international. Koncert X was my favorite show overall. Village Chill is number 3, just saying. Koncert X, man oh man, if you were there, you experienced and you witnessed an incredible movie. Shout outs to King James for always putting together a superb performance, and thank you guys again for allowing me to grace the stage for Koncert X. It's been a very, very, very long time since I've performed at such a high level, and it really made me miss the stage in that aspect, because of course I still host and I'm still on the stage, but not to that capacity or in that aspect, and it really made me miss it. So it got a brain, it got a gears clicking again. So we working on something, we working on it. But Koncert X, King James, Thank you so much. And like I said, April 14th, 2018, I personally was going to crown you had the blunder not happened. Trust me when I tell you that was the plan for that night. Things happen. It is what it is. History took its course, but we're here today. And I finally got to have a full circle moment with you to do what I wanted to do all those years ago. So shout out to King James, shout out to the entire team, shout out to Koncert X. If you missed it this year, make sure next year your face is in the place. All right, now after Koncert X, we move over to day number 9. Day number 9. Speaking about 9, it was Noche Latina, where we had Bing Bong. Shout outs to the promoters for the Noche Latina. They had a very, very packed show as well. All of the, from what I could have understood, from what I saw, all of the performers that came out, everybody had a good time. They enjoyed it, and everybody was singing along. And when Yaleen came out, everybody was vibing to her. She had backup dancers. Her presentation of her performance was looking really great. Really nice. Shout outs to her. I didn't understand it. I wish I did because I need it now. But shout outs to Yaleen. Shout outs to the promoters for the Noche Latina. Y'all did the thing. And now we're moving it over into day number 10. We got 2 hands now. Of course, day number 10, it's April 30th, and that is always our grand parade. Grand parade, beautiful costumes. Ladies, y'all looked amazing. The kiddies were super adorable, were super cute. Shout out to all of the kiddies that were in the parade. Shout out to all of the adults, all of the ladies that came out and made the parade what it is. Shout out to all of the troops, all of the bands, everybody that took part for Carnival. The one complaint, besides it being hot, the one complaint that everybody had coming down to the end of the parade was that there were too many gaps. Now, if you saw, or if you didn't see, they had no volunteers in front of the trucks. It's just that simple. Me know what else to tell you. They had no volunteers. It's just that simple. It's just that easy. And now going over to day number 11, second day parade, the gaps weren't as big, but we had a little mishap or a little blunder coming out to the ending, because unfortunately around 6:48, 6:50, there were still 2 trucks on the Pondfield Road coming down, heading to the village. And now they're trying to pull the truck to get a truck to the village, but there's people in front of the truck not listening to the people them, telling them we gotta pull the truck. So what happened? They had to shut off the music so that the people them could go in the village, so the trucks would come off the road because it's a permit, you know. And a lot of things were said and this and that, whatever the case would be. But second day parade will forever be better than first day parade. Second day parade is where you just get on hustlers and wild and do all kind of craziness. I love second day parade. Give me second day parade any day over first day parade. And for the last, I want to say 7 years, 6 or 7 years, every second day parade it rains, and that's why I love it even more. Second day parade, it was soaking wet, and then the sun came out and kept it mellow. So shout out to second day parade. Shout out to the revelers that came out for the second day parade. Y'all were amazing. Thank you so much. They always have that one officer in a uniform that happens to be jamming while they're walking. I mean, hey, 2 birds with 1 stone. Why not? Why not? All right. And after second day parade from day number 11, we go over into day number 12. Dose number 12. Day number 12 was the highly anticipated night of the hit makers. Now, my Aruba posse come out, Calypso posse come out, my Haitian posse come out, my Antiguan posse come out, my Caribbean posse. Let me just say, my Caribbean people showed up and showed out for Night of the Hit Makers, because Night of the Hit Makers is just that, the hit makers. When you have a band like Burning Flames, the original Burning Flames that came down the road, they formed one of the biggest trains ever around the village, and people just going wrong and people kicking up like donkey and exposing boxer shots and everything. Yo, Night of the Hitmaker was a vibe. And now we are going over into the final weekend of Carnival. We're going to start it off with Flag Fest. Unfortunately, there's this thing where, again, people, you might not notice. If you're behind the scenes, of course, you have the inside scoop. So now, when it comes to booking an international artist, you bring them, you say, hey, your performance time is 11 o'clock. I'm picking you up 10:30 from the hotel. You reach into the village, you set up, you do whatever. Some people do it even an hour before. So you perform in 11, you're picking up for 10 o'clock, you get for 10:30, you set up. They put out the running order, like I mentioned in my first video. They put out the running order. A lot of these international artists are divas. A lot of these bands, they really just, you tell me 10 o'clock, it's 10 o'clock. I ain't going to go harass myself to get ready a little earlier or whatever the case may be. So our promoters have to deal with all of these different personalities and attitudes and those different things. So that in itself is rough. And now, if, like I say, like I explained in my video, if I give you an allotted time of 45 minutes and you go over that 45 minutes, now you put me in a jam because you going to perform, let's say you perform 52 minutes. You perform for the 52 minutes. Now my DJ gotta come on, and now you still gotta come off the stage. You still gotta plug up everything, take a daisy time, plug up everything. That can take 10 minutes. And then the next band's supposed to come on, wait for you to leave the stage. Then they come on the stage and then they gotta plug up, and now they gotta test everything and do everything and make sure everything's sung it right. And that in itself is a process. So the 30-minute time slot that I had for you to change over for the next band to come on, you already went 7 minutes into it because I gave you 45, you went 52. You went 7 minutes into my change of band time. Now my DJ you have 23 minutes. Now you have 23 minutes to do everything you gotta do. So come off and the next band come on. The next band needed an additional 10 minutes because something wrong with the engineer, with this or with that, some wire ain't good or whatever the case be. So now I am over my time, and if you have that trickle down effect, you would always get that. And unfortunately, that's one of the things that plagued the Flag Fest on Saturday, on day number 13, and that's why Triple K wasn't able to perform for as long as they would have liked to, or the people would have liked them to. And especially when it's your headliner, is unfortunate. You know, people say, yeah, but the Haitian DJ that was before Triple K played too long. He would have had to play so long. Yes, he did, because the band wasn't ready. He can't stop playing unless the band ready, because if the band ain't ready and he stopped playing, what can happen? His set was necessary because, and even too, during his set, he had engineer problems. He had technical difficulties. So what difference do you expect? Tell me what you expect differently. Even he had trouble. So just be a little understanding. I understand that you spend $65, $70. I understand. I feel your pain. Whatever you want the promoters to do, send them an email, send them a message, send them a letter, write something on Facebook, whatever. Be nice, do whatever, and hopefully the promoter can get back to you and say, hey, we're working on it, we can do this, we can do that. Hopefully they make it up to you guys, because I would be upset too if I had to spend $70 to only see 10 minutes of the people that I wanted to see. I would be upset too. But things happen in life, so we gotta be a little understanding sometimes. Yes, you want them to be understanding with your money too, but those things where I explain you in your concern, you know, you tell me, you promise me this, give me this. I pay for this, give me this. That's all I want, and I understand. But hey, it is what it is. A lot of people would say, yeah, but the Trinidad artist wasn't needed. You could only leave Nadia Batson. Why you had to bring the other two for? Again, it's just the variety. It's just too full the show to give you a better value, a better product. It didn't necessarily work, or it could have been better, but hey, it is what it is. They tried to give you something good and it didn't really work out. I understand. You're upset. Again, it is what it is. And now going over to Bacchanal Sunday, the last show for Carnival. Bacchanal Sunday had its troubles as well, because if you realize, one of the bands didn't show up for Bacchanal Sunday. I don't know if you realize that, but one of the acts didn't show up for Bacchanal Sunday. They didn't make it, and that led to DJ King Kimbe performing longer in his set. Kimbe was a vibe. Nobody said nothing. Huh? Nobody said, why nobody didn't say Kimbe played too long? He should have played shorter so that Ace Abandon could do what he wanted to do. Huh? But again, it is what it is. So Kimbe came, he did his thing, you know, for Bacchanal Sunday. A lot of people saying that, shout out to DJ Maestro and DJ Big Boss, they were the highlight of Bacchanal Sunday. They saved the show until they came on. The show was like on a 6, and they came up, they brought it to like an 8.5, 9. You know, their energy, they really shot it up, you know. And for Bacchanal Sunday, you know, Spice came out, Spice did her thing. A lot of people went crazy for it. I didn't even realize she performed for only like a half an hour. So Kalash came on. A lot of people saying Kalash was on way too long. I'm not a Kalash fan because I guess I don't understand French or Creole. I don't speak it. A lot of people saying he was on too long. He was on longer than Spice, and Spice had a better show than Kalash. I don't know. And unfortunately, during Kala's show, the young lady fell out of stage. I guess she's never been on stage. She didn't look where she was going. She was stepping back, and yeah, she planas. That was unfortunate. But hey, she's okay, I assume. And yeah, Asa Banton came out. He did his thing. And he also brought on Triple K. Because, in case you didn't know, Asa Banton is backed by Triple K, the band. So, Benji come out. Benji did his thing. They perform. And my thing is, you know, like, certain artists, yes, you should not care about the time that the show has or has remaining. But if you know, for example, if I'm Asa Banton and I know that I bringing out Triple K to add to my performance, shorten your songs. You don't have to sing the whole song. Bring them out sooner so that you have more time to throw your powder, to throw your paint, to throw your water, to throw macaroni, throw napkin, throw everything. By the time Triple K came off, it was minutes to 3. Still had water to throw, still had napkin to throw, still had macaroni to throw. I know one person that was grateful that he didn't get to do all them things was Quality Sweepers, because when he said we making a mess, the place literally is in a mess. So Quality Sweepers happy that he didn't get to do that. But you know, hey, a lot of people get the water, they get Triple K, they get Asa Banton. So I guess they were still happy to make up for Flagfest. But again, it still wasn't enough because, hey, it is what it is. But ladies and gentlemen, that was my breakdown for the Carnival season for 2025. After that, we had the burning of King Momo. We had the closing. Shout outs to all of the winners for Carnival. So shout outs to Real Production for winning Troop of the Year. Shout outs to booth number 32 on their Village Cock-Up drink, which is the Phase 3. We didn't have no cook-up this year. Shout out, who won booth of the year? Did we have a booth of the year? I can't remember. I know outside on the strip, I think it's booth 25. They won booth of the year, so shout outs to them. And yeah, shout out to everybody and that enjoyed Carnival, that had the most for Carnival, the most fun, the most vibe. Shout out to everybody that came down to St. Martin for Carnival or came up to St. Martin, depending on your bearing. But anyways, shout out to all you. Thank you for visiting St. Martin. Thank you for enjoying St. Martin Carnival. And next year, God's willing, the dates are already out. Make sure you book your tickets, you book your hotels, you book your costumes, you book your everything for Carnival 2026, because we're in the mix like sticks and bricks. And we are just here to have a good time. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you once again for tuning in to part 2 of the Moment of the Month for the April Carnival edition. It's your boy Rama. Remember, no one is safe and you could be next. Until next Carnival, ladies and gentlemen, we are gone. Boom.